As we told you at the top of this newscast, Governor Snyder has appointed a new emergency manager for the Detroit Public Schools. He's Roy Roberts, a former GM executive and philanthropist. And Mr. Roberts joins us now from Detroit to talk more about the new position he'll be holding. Thank you so much, Mr. Roberts, for joining us tonight.
Well, it's good to be with you.
Talk first for me, if you will. What are the most immediate challenges you see as you get ready to take on this huge role with Detroit?
I think getting people in Detroit to understand that this is not about me, it's about the children in the city of Detroit. And we're getting the community to rally around the efforts that we're going to put in place. It's awfully important, tremendously important.
What do you bring? Your background is in corporate America. You worked for GM with years. You're an amazing philanthropist. Your resume goes on and on and on. As a businessman and having worked in the corporate world and not really education, what do you think you bring to the table to help solve the challenges that Detroit Public Schools face?
It's my problem-solving abilities and things that I've done in corporate America and outside of corporate America that I think is so important. We've got two major problems here. One is educating the kids, the young people in the city of Detroit. And number two, longer term, is getting our finances in order so that we're compliant. So I think I can handle some of those things.
You know, I know you mentioned in the press conference that you held with the governor when you were announced this afternoon that you don't have a specific plan yet. You've only known about this, I guess, for a couple of days. But under the new state emergency manager law, you will have the authority to modify or cancel union contracts. Is that something you're considering doing, or you may consider doing?
Well, I think the real key is I would much rather have the union at the table. I want them at the table. I think they add value. And as long as they can add value and we can move forward and get things done for the well-being of the kids in the city, I don't want to even talk about do we get rid of the union. They have to prove themselves unworthy of being at the table before I would ever consider it.
You know, this is a monumental job. I think when I look at your resume and with everything you've accomplished in your career and your personal life, some may ask, why take a job on like this? If you don't mind me saying, I read a report that you're 72 years old. First, I guess, is that true? And if it is true, shouldn't you be retiring and enjoying yourself and not taking on such an amazing role?
I'm glad you asked the question because you're right. I am 72 years old and I could have done any number of things. I've served on corporate boards. I could have made more money around the corner. This is not about money. This is about helping the young people in the city of Detroit. I think the day is over when we can sit on the sideline and say, isn't that horrible? Woe is me. If any of us can add plus value to this city, this community, this school system, we got to get involved. And that's why I got involved. And it's a mission. And we want to make sure we make something happen.
And I think if you've been watching what's been going on with Robert Bobb and the Detroit Public Schools over the last couple of years that he's been in charge, you know at times that this can be a thankless job. Is there anything you've learned from watching him in this position?
Well, I think he's to be complimented in some regards because he took some hits and some lumps for things that no one had ever done before. Never done before. And, you know, nobody woke up this morning and says, I think I'll change today. You don't change that way. You change because there's some external stimuli, positively and negative, that hit you. I think he's done a good job, and I think there's more to be done, and we're going to be about doing those things that need to be done.
And as you roll up your sleeves and take over the position coming up before too long, we look forward to hearing much more about your plans for the Detroit Public School System. Roy Roberts, thank you for taking the time to join us tonight.
Thank you.